Hello. Today we're going to be solving rational equations. First thing we need to do is multiply each term on both sides by the least common denominator to cancel the fractions. So we need to figure out what the least common denominator is. So on this one, if you look at all these denominators, start off with the numbers. So 2 and 4, what does 2 and 4 both go into evenly? Well, they both go into 8 evenly, but is there anything smaller? 4. So 4 is going to be one of our least common denominators. And so we have the letter x, so we have to include that in our least common denominator. So looking at this least common denominator, what does this fraction need? It needs an x. So we're going to multiply by x over x. What does this fraction need? It needs a 4. So we're going to multiply this fraction by 4 over 4. What does this need? Well, it's a 2 and we need a 4, so we're going to need to multiply by 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Is there anything else that we need? Notice we have 4x, we have 4x, here we have 4. That's right, we need an x. So now we have 4x, 4x, and 4x. So we have a common denominator. So now we can combine these two. So we're going to have 4x on the bottom, and we have 5x, 5 times x, minus 6 times 4 is 24, equals, on the top we have multiplying 2x, on the bottom 4x. Okay, next thing we want to do here is, now that our denominators are the same, we have to just set the numerators equal to each other. Okay, the 4x's, if we cross multiply, remember this is a proportion, so if we cross multiply, the 4x's will eventually just cancel each other out. So solving, we get subtract 2x on both sides, so we get 3x, add 24 on both sides, equals 24. Divide by 3, so x equals 8. So the solutions, there's only one, x equals 8. Now back up here, exclusions. Since we have a variable in the denominator, do you remember what the denominator cannot be? That's right, the denominator cannot be 0. So what can x not be? So x in this case cannot be 0. And it's not. So that's a good solution. Okay, let's look at number, why don't you do number 2 on your own for class. And let's look at number 3. So looking at our denominators, we want to get a least common denominator. So we have 2x plus 1 and x minus 2. Now personally, with this problem, it's a proportion. So I would just cross multiply. Since there's no adding and there's no subtracting, it's just one fraction equals another fraction. Let's just cross multiply. So you may remember, cross multiply that way, we have 6 times x minus 2 bring down the equal sign, and 2 times 2x plus 1. Okay, so distributing the 6, we get 6x minus 12 equals 4x plus 2. Subtract the 4x, we get 2x. Add the 12, we get 14. And divide by 2, we get 7. So x is equal to 7. Let's take a look at the exclusions. Notice there's an x in the denominator. Here, what would x be that would make the denominator 0? 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So x cannot be 2. What would x be here that would make the denominator 0? Well, this one's a little bit trickier. What you need to do is set it equal to 0 and solve. So if x equals negative 1/2, we'll get 0 in the denominator. So x cannot be 2, and x cannot be negative 1/2. So I'm going to put braces since this is set. Okay? Let's do the same process over here. And see what we get for an answer. Try that one on your own. Okay, number 5. Now here, the same thing applies. We can just cross multiply again. So I'm just going to move on. Now this one has an addition. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and get a common denominator. So I'm going to put my integer over 1. Now we have 1x and 3x. So let's start with our numbers. What does 1 and 3 both go into evenly? 3. And we have an x, so we're going to take that along. So each denominator needs a 3 and an x. So what does this denominator need? An x. So we're going to multiply by x over x. What does this denominator need? A 3. What does this denominator need? A 3 and an x. Oops. Okay, so we get 10x equals 12 plus 6x. All our denominators can just go away when we do that, just like magic. So solving, we get x equals 3. What can x not be? 0. Alright, where are we at? Turn the page. Alright, let's do a more complicated one. Let's go down here to number 11. So the first thing we want to do here is we want to factor our denominators. The thing about this is it's also, we could cross multiply here to solve this. So let's not do that one. Let's do one where we have adding and subtracting. Let's look at 12. So we have n minus 2, n plus 4. This is going to be n plus 4, n minus 2. Okay? So we need an n minus 2. We need an n plus 4. Got it. Got it. So this is what we need for each one. So what does this fraction need? Okay. What does this fraction need? Nothing. It's got both of them. What does this fraction need? N minus 2. So notice our denominators are now the same. What can we do? Just like magic. Ooh, all gone. All gone. We can cancel out the denominators. So we got 1 times n plus 4 equals, we have 2n plus 1. Distribute the 2, we get 2n minus 4. Alright, so now all we need to do is solve. So 2n and 2n is 4n minus 3. Get the n's on one side, so cancel one of them out. Add the 3. Divide by 3. So it looks like our answer is going to be 7/3. Now, what can n not? What are the exclusions? Well, what would n be here that would make this 0? So n cannot be 2. What could n be here that would make this 0? -4. -4 plus 4 is 0. 0 times anything is 0. We cannot have a 0 in the denominator. And we've already got it covered here. Okay, so try the rest of these problems for tomorrow or for Monday, depending on when you watch this video. And I'll go over questions on this on Monday.